we decided to concentrate in the things that we are doing. And I want to say that this particular funny convict and the sentence of Nnamdi Kanu is a blessing in disguise. I was surprised that about 5 serving judges, which I will not mention their names, Federal High Court, Court of Appeal and Supreme Court, serving, have taken this thing upon themselves. In fact, one even called me this morning. They have written grants of appeal and sent to us. So I continue to ask myself, does it mean that we still have some judges with conscience in this country? The answer is yes.
Yes, we have.
I can comfortably tell you that I'm not talking about the retired judges, those that are serving. Then when you're talking about the retired judges that have taken this thing upon themselves, one called me. They are busy calling me, asking me, please, have people filed appeal? You said no. They said don't file. Don't file. We are interested. They were researching. Professors, both here in Nigeria and abroad, they have taken it upon themselves. I said, sure. So, Nnamdi Kanu, people love you like this. Not Igbo, so from Yoruba nation, houses, those with conscience.
Yes.
Those who felt that, no, this thing cannot happen to this man. Now, having said that, I want to also tell you that I was at a correctional center yesterday at office of the Controller General of the Correctional Center. That was on a Thursday. I went there to go and see the director, the Controller General. The problem we're having is that if you watch, those of you, if you read that particular judgment, in the sentence he said, Nnamdi Kanu should be kept in any protective custodian center within Nigeria. He never mentioned any place. Now, the time we went to DSSS, because we went there, that was the sentence and the conviction and the sentence was done on the 20th. On the 21st, we went to that place. They told us that they have moved Nnamdi Kanu out. We asked them where. They said that we should go to their headquarters, DSSS headquarters. So when we went to that place, they told us that we should not be coming here. That Nnamdi Kanu has been transferred to Sokoto. We said, how? We said that we should go and ask the correctional center that the thing is no longer in their power. Good and fine. We went to Sokoto. They said that the order is from court. We said no. The judgment did not specify that it was Sokoto. Why should you use your power to transfer in Sokoto? They said that we should go back to that court. We went to that court to apply to have the CTC of the remanding order. That particular CTC has not been given to us. Now, the correctional center have told me on Friday, though they have not replied my letter, I said, please, can you reply this thing? They said that the judge in the remand warrant mentioned Sokoto. This is mad inhumanity to man. This is wickedness to the highest order. The question Nigerians are asking, including those with conscience, why Sokoto? You know that this man has interlocutory appeal against your ruling and their judgment, which he filed by himself at the Court of Appeal. He also filed some motions at the Supreme Court. The day he went to Supreme Court, people saw how people with conscience left to their work and they were hailing him, encouraging him that he shall overcome. Now, on what basis are you taking him to Sokoto? Now, we are not asking. Today is the 15th. So today is 15th. By next week, now that Sunday will make it 20 a complete 1 month. This convict and the sentence was done. Now, Nnamdi Kanu has lost all these days. He has not filed his appeal. Because one, he is representing himself on record. Now, can federal government move him?
Okay. Maxwell, we've had you. I'll do the remaining analysis of this video. That was Maxwell Opara, one of Nnamdi Kanu's legal representatives. That guy is intelligent. Meanwhile, welcome to my channel. Today, we are not here to shout. We are not here to insult anybody. We are not here to provoke violence. Today, we are here to reason together. I'm aware some of us would have watched that video, but what I'm here to do is analysis. You need to really understand what he said. So, what you're about to hear is not rumor. It is not social media gossip. It is not propaganda. It is a statement made by Maxwell, as you can see. He's continuing in the speech, but I am here to analyze it to you. Like I said, Maxwell is one of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's legal representative. And what he said raises very serious questions about Nigeria's judicial system. Let us break everything down slowly, clearly, and honestly. Maxwell Opara revealed something shocking. He said that serving judges, not retired judges, from the Federal High Court, from the Court of Appeal, and even the Supreme Court have been quietly reaching out. Reaching out to who? Reaching out to them concerning the judgment. These judges, according to him, drafted grounds of appeal, called the defense team, researched legal opinions, consulted professors in Nigeria and abroad. Let us pause here. Why I'm saying so? Let me tell you something. In a normal country, judges do not do this. But when judges begin to act like this, it means something is wrong. It means that even inside the system, some people believe that this case does not sit right. Wahala de, I see danger. That is how Two-Face P-Square puts it. So when Maxwell asked, do we still have judges with conscience? You had the answer. The whole answer appears to be yes. But that conscience is working quietly because the system itself is under pressure. The system is under pressure. You saw the title of this video. Maxwell said something very deep. He said this conviction has become a blessing in disguise. Why? Because it was meant to silence the case. But instead of silencing the case, it exposed legal weaknesses. It united people across regions. It increased public sympathy. From Igbo land to Yoruba nation, people of conscience are asking the same question. Why is this happening? Sometimes when power overreaches, it accidentally reveals itself. Now, this is where the matter becomes very serious. The judgment clearly said, protective custody in a custodial center within Nigeria. It did not mention Sokoto, any specific prison, any far away location. After sentencing, DSS said, he is no longer with us. DSS sent the lawyers to the court. And court clarification did not mention Sokoto. Correctional Service said the remand warrant says Sokoto. So let's ask a simple question. Who changed the instruction? Because judgment says one thing, agencies are doing another thing. This is not normal. This is not how justice works. When institutions start pointing fingers at each other, the rule of law is already shaking. Now let's talk about Sokoto. Why Sokoto? At a time when Nnamdi Kanu has an interlocutory appeal, he has motions at the Supreme Court. He's representing himself. You heard Maxwell said that. He needs physical access to the courts. Why moving to one of the fattest locations in the country? They would have said Niger. It's possible. He could have been moved to Niger Republic. The way things are done in Nigeria. He could have been moved to Niger Republic. And this has already caused damage. He has lost some time, in trying to do his appeal. He could not properly file his appeal the way it's supposed to be done. And his legal access was blocked. And this is why Maxwell called it man's inhumanity to man. Because justice is not only about judgment. Justice is also about access. And here is where the irony becomes loud. Maxwell asks a simple but powerful question. If the federal government could use a presidential jet to move him to Sokoto, why can't the same jet bring him back to Abuja to file his appeal? The way Nigeria acts, whenever it concerns an Igbo man, the swiftness at which he was taken to Sokoto. Let them fly him back with the same presidential jet. They flew him to Sokoto. That question by Maxwell has no emotional answer. It only has moral and legal weight. When power can act fast to punish but become slow to allow justice, people begin to lose trust. One very important part of Maxwell's statement is what many people ignored. He called for calm. He thanked the Igbo people and all Nigerians for conscience, for showing maturity. According to him, he realized and he's aware they are trying to provoke the Igbo people. So he thanked the Igbo people for showing maturity. Why? Because chaos helps injustice. Violence gives excuses. Anger is often what power is waiting for. And restraint, on the other hand, exposes injustice clearly. And by the way, he dropped a message for the president. Maxwell also spoke directly to the president. He said, this process does not reflect your renewed hope agenda. What they say is not what they do. And he reminded the president that power is temporary. History does not forget. Leaders before him are now history. Buhari, who was the one who brought Nnamdi Kanu in, is history now as far as we are concerned. It's not an insult. It was a warning from history. Obasanjo was sometime in power. He's not dead, but he's no longer in power. He cannot act as someone in power like he did before. There will be a time Tinubu would have left power and some other persons are in power. Because every government eventually meets its own record. And Maxwell, oh, that guy you see, forget how he speaks. That guy is one of the most intelligent legal representatives in Nigeria. So he warned judicial officers, your judgments will outlive you. Yes, there'll be a time, reference will be made to this judgment and it's like, oh, I regret this action. Just like Obama invading Libya. If you listen to recent Obama speeches, they have regrets. Why not correct things when you have chance to do? So, judicial officers, your judgment will outlive you. Judges may retire and government may change, but records remain, taunting you. This video is not about tribe. It is not about politics alone. It is about process. You know, sometimes the court contradicts themselves. Agencies confuse what is called custody. Access to appeal is blocked. Then everyone should be concerned because today it is Nnamdi Kanu, tomorrow it can be any Nigerian. And this is IGBO AREA TV. We will keep watching, we will keep analyzing, and we will keep speaking calmly but truthfully. Thank you for watching.